Imagine you're doing something shameless, your mother walks in on you, right? Your sister walks in on you, your brother walks in on you, your father walks in on you, your friends see you do something. How humiliated would you be? How embarrassed would you be? How sorry would you feel that, you would feel like scum. You would absolutely feel like scum. Now Allah is saying, you wanna save yourself from becoming shameless? If you do fall into that act, and it's inevitable, you will, that it's gonna happen. But if it does happen, your remedy for protecting you from next time is dhakarullah. Immediately they remembered Allah. Not even thumma dhakarullah or fa dhakarullah. Immediately they remembered Allah. Immediately. فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ. Then immediately they asked Allah to forgive for their sins. وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Who's gonna forgive your sin if not Allah anyway? See, when you do something shameless, you feel really bad about yourself. When you feel bad about yourself, shaitan comes and says, how are you gonna talk to Allah now? What face are you gonna show Him? First you do this and now you think you're gonna pray to Allah? You hypocrite. And so you say, yeah, I shouldn't talk to Allah, I'm scum. And you become distanced from Allah, and shaitan succeeds. When you do something evil, especially an act of shamelessness, something that's humiliating, you go and ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to forgive immediately. And Allah puts a condition. You could become addicted to that. Yeah, I mess up. I watch this really terrible stuff, and then I ask Allah to forgive me. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to do this next week again. Allah says, وَلَمْ يُصِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا. They didn't insist upon what they did. In other words, when you apologize to Allah, when you begged Allah that you should ward yourself off from this shamelessness, then you knew in your mind, you made a commitment in your mind, in your heart, that you're not going to come back to it. If you do come back to it, that we're human being, it might happen. But you're in your heart, there's not even the slightest bit of a doubt that you're abandoning this forever. You're abandoning it forever. You can't give up. And maybe you've tried before and you failed. You gave it up, then you went back to it. You gave it up, then you went back to it. You gave it up when you went back to it. So you start saying to yourself, yeah, I've done this enough times, probably I'll be back to it. You've already failed. No matter how many times you failed, you cannot have that attitude. That attitude alone means you are not sorry before Allah. You're not sorry before Allah. So that's just some things about the way we have to pray for getting out of the cycle of shamelessness. Just a little bit of additional advice, practical advice. Practically, what can you do in addition to the prayer? One of the things you can do is don't be alone. Just don't be alone. Be with good company. If you have free time, usually you end up in shameless activity when you're by yourself. So don't be by yourself. If you have a laptop or a computer in your room and that leads you to problems, don't keep it in your room, and keep the door open. And if you're going to be with company that leads you into shameless behavior, if you know you're going to go somewhere where you're going to see things that are inappropriate, try to change that scene. Try to get out of that scene. Spend, especially if you're in college, you have like 4 or 5 hour gaps in between classes and you're doing whatever in that time. Why don't you just go to the masjid, sit there and study? It's a safe place. You can't really mess up there all that much. Hopefully they don't have Wi-Fi, right? But the idea is save yourself from putting yourself in the situations where you fall into that stuff. There are certain places in your house or in your environment, in your world, when you are in those places, you end up doing bad things. It just happens every time you're in that room or in that place, you end up doing bad things. Then you should be smart enough to know that and get away from that place. Don't be there by yourself. Don't be there alone. This is something you have to teach yourself to do.